Today, I wanted to share with you a bit of oral history. I'm gonna kind of tell it to you like I would tell my friends the story, and we're gonna feel out how that feels for y'all. There are I have less cited sources about this one, but we're like unlocking a tenet of my lore now. I love dolls, obviously, and I think 10 years ago, I would have called myself a capital G gamer. Like, played all the big, console pushers, not really a COD, first-person shooter, prism, a platformer girly. And I like Life Sims, I like Animal Crossing, I like Stardew Valley. I love to min-max, living my dream life. And so today I'm gonna do a oral retelling of a story that's approximately 12 years in the making. I got lost in my sentence. I like The Sims. I love The Sims. I actually don't play The Sims 4 because I think it's really stressful. The build too much options. And I miss having the color swatches, and I put like 500 hours into The Sims 3, so I'm a Sims 3 girly. My story with The Sims 3 is that my sister turned 18 in 2009, and so she bought that, and I would watch her. She'd had The Sims 2 for a little bit on a laptop, but she would play The Sims 3 on her laptop, and I only got to play a little bit of it before she moved out, and I was like, oh, hooked. So, my sister moves out in 2010, 11, and then I get unfettered access to the internet in late 2012, and thus this story takes place during this time. So the Wild West of gaming YouTube, and also we must bring down what the context is. Smosh is still the biggest thing with a video that has 1 million views, with 1 million subscribers. That 1 million is still the thing to beat. Baby arm. Baby arm returns. So I need you to understand this for the next set of videos, is that things over 50,000 views are huge. They are huge. They are tent poles of those communities. People consistently bringing in 10,000 views in a niche community is huge. It's huge. It's bigger than what it is now. You know, you get people who get 10,000 views on a TikTok and they're like, I'm flopping, you guys. I'm fucking flop. I'm Flopatina. I'm Flanye West. Flopye West? Yeah, that's where the joke is. Flopye West. But this sets the scene for the YouTuber we're going to talk about. Quxxn. Quxxn. A Sims 3 YouTuber who was a part of the giants in that space. Obviously, you had I say obviously. You might not know any of these people! Oh my god! The reason why it was important that I played The Sims, I love dolls, I played The Sims. Sims are like dolls. You can make whatever fantasy you want that you wanted, even if that fantasy is transracial. We'll get into that. So, Sims creators that were big in that space for me. One we will talk about a little bit later, a little bit more depth, being Diamond X, the creator of the Anon series. We have creators that are still going in that space. Urban X Sims, Jen, X Urban Sims X, Jen. Not to get parasocial, but I've been following Jen long enough that she just had her, her son, her oldest son was still a toddler baby, and then all of her other children afterwards. I've been on this ride. She had her Legendary Seasons Let's Play with all the interpersonal drama woven into gameplay. Observing chaos and putting a label to it instead of just saying you want to do something and doing that thing. There's obviously things she wants to do and characters she puts together, but if the Sims want to get a divorce, she's gonna let them get a divorce. If they want to quit their job, she might let them quit their job. If they want to cheat, she's a delight. You know, we have Andrew Arcade, really introduced me to The Sims 1 and like a love of those retro games. Like those games had really become retro at that time and also have become almost impossible to buy legally. And of course, people who were younger than me seemed really into Life Simmer. She came, was huge, left, came back. Like, The Sims 4 really killed a lot of Sims playing for some people. It was not, like, that first game was fucking broken. It was broken, not worth the money, and so a lot of people continue playing their Sims 3 games, and, you know, you get left in the dust after a while when it finally does become usable and you don't know how to use it. That's kind of how I found myself. But, like, she played other games. She was kind of like early Twitch, like, variety, cozy gamer. But she, you know, pretty girl, plays a shooter. She had this vintage bombshell as her avatar. Blonde, big hair, big boobs, leg. She had the bombshell blonde, and like pre-2016, having 1 million subscribers was like a lot. And when you have like 10% of that in a niche community, you're a big fish in the fucking pond. Everyone knows you. Andrew Arcade, Life Simmer, Queen were running the Simmer community like the Navy. I started watching later in the summer of that year, it's either 2012 or 2013. I have it labeled as 2013, but again, oral history. We're just having a chat. For this, I need you to understand that Queen's branding was that of a skinny, blonde, buxom white woman. All the Sim characters that she created were white, conventionally attractive Sims. She didn't cam, which was very normal for the time, and she spoke with a slightly affected white girl valley accent. Andrew, I don't believe we ever saw a photo of Andrew. Jen had a beauty channel, so she spoke, so you saw her face. In the time after this, I used to know her name. The girl who ran Life Simmer, obviously posting on Instagram. You'd see her. People who survived this event, you know, go on to use social media, and you can confirm that they are the people that they are. But none of this was outwardly like suspicious. Like, so now we move to summer of 2014. For the last couple of months, Queen was sounded winded when she spoke. Okay, what I was saying is that it wasn't that, like, I thought it was really odd that every one of her characters were white. I think there was a small discussion that I remember seeing from Jen's end, because all of Jen's characters, I don't remember her last name, and frankly, it's not important for me to know. Jen's characters tended towards either being white or kind of Hispanic looking, because Jen is Hispanic. She uses, you know, Spanglish in her videos. All of that made sense. Part of that is that it was kind of hard to build good looking black Sims without CC, and CC wasn't like, you were getting furniture, but it was different than it is now. The way you see like CC was slightly different graphical capabilities, because the thing about The Sims 3 is that it runs hot and hard. The Sims 3 wants to kill your laptop and break your spirit. A very, very special game. So it didn't really like strike me as odd that all of her Sims were white. A lot of my Sims were white. A lot of them weren't, but they were all white. it felt like Queen was a white lady. So we move on to the summer of 2014, and for the last couple of months, Queen had been sounding winded in these videos. And these are all from my memory. I did not go back and watch any of these videos. I distinctly remember how winded she sounded in these videos. She sounded bad, like she needed help, and she talked about getting help. She talked about going to the doctor and getting help and having appointments. I very distinctly remember, this is, I think, in the midst of university, or maybe she had finished university, whatever was happening. She was going to create a batch of videos, and that her sister would be monitoring her socials, and that she was going to be getting surgery. Because she was getting heart surgery, she told us the date, that her little sister would be running the book. Yep. So when I made my first Twitter in 2014, I've been on Twitter for 10 years. God damn. So when I first made that Twitter account, I followed all of these summers. And I believe that this was the event that prompted me to make that Twitter. I was up late one night scrolling through as people prayed for her and wished her the best. And then I remember a series of tweets about her crashing on the table, things being worse than they thought, fluid being places. It was not going well. They were going to put her in a medically induced coma, and then I went to bed because I was 16, maybe, and had school in the morning. And when I woke up the next morning, she had passed. She was brain dead. She was gone. Her sister, who was running her socials, was like, I'm gonna put her registry, you know, you can send flowers and stuff to the funeral home. Well, someone did a little bit more research and found out she was black, an overweight black woman in her early to mid 20s. She passes and people are mourning and they're discussing her. And again, her real life whole ass family is doing a funeral for her. Fucking, what was his name? What was that white man's name? There's this menacing ass white man who gets on Beyonce's internet and is like, ugh, I am so disappointed in her that she would lie. We were so close, this, that, and the third. And her family's like, who? What? All hell has broken loose. They are doxing this man, effectively run him off the internet. I went to the Reddit from 11 years ago. She got an infection and a high fever, and the most recent update on her Twitter said her lungs were also failing. Fellow YouTuber and simmer and close friend of Queen, iPodZeke1, posted a video confirming her passing. And he then, of course, there's no more talk about it because it's all his. They ran him off the internet, but he insinuates that it, again, disappointed that she is dead, but also that it might have been a publicity stunt and that she lied to him. I wouldn't suggest supporting iPodZeke anymore if you would watch his videos. He manipulated his way into Queen's Twitter account and used her surgery and passing as advertisement for himself. You can see in his video how he speaks less of Queen and more about the advertising of other channels. Queen's family got access to her Twitter and stated that there would be no more updates from iPodZeke and deleted the Twitter account, which I very distinctly remember. It's a sad story. Queen never divulged information about herself because she was self-conscious of her appearance. She created a fake persona seen in her videos seeming to escape her reality. It looks like the surgery she was going under was to fix her weight issues so she could become more comfortable with herself. And unfortunately, the surgery went wrong and she ended up losing her life. She found peace and happiness in her videos, and it's a shame she felt the need to hide who she truly was. So the obituary is posted, and we're going to go through some niceties about her, some things. Because I truly, every once in a while I think about this, and I think about how, like, I've never heard anyone talk about this. But also how instrumental she was in my love of videos and video games and online community. And even though it was obfuscated, knowing that she was, you know, a black girl in the Sims community doing it, one of the originals, one of the OGs. Like, I can only sing praises of her. Her government name was Venetia, She passed away on July 20th, 2013. Her sister Alicia did take over her channel, her other two channels. She every once in a while she is active. Every once in a while I check back into it because I go through little phases. As the community, they named July 22nd, 2013 became Queen Day for like a good 2 or 3 years. Really until like more... It's gonna go on a side quest. The part about Queen is effectively over, but now I gotta get into the fact that like the reason I stopped watching The Sims is that upon The Sims 4 release and like general malaise from the populace, and I don't know if like EA like decided that they were going to like push it and get sponsored posts, but just like horny dude bros playing, it's as rude to say playing dolls incorrectly, but like playing dolls in a way that's kind of malicious and gross kind of pushed me away from the game and the gaming community as a whole. And I like got into like YouTube commentaries like Baby Brother of like Ray William Johnson and Philip DeFranco before, and like I would find myself really watching a lot of Todd in the Shadows at that point, and then I graduate high school and things get weird. But I really like before like you think of like Little Simsy and Vixella, she was around, I believe. You know, there was Jen and there was Queen, and you know, they were around and they were supreme of that era. Very interesting. Like the one that's still going strong is X Urban Sims X. Jen, she's still pumping videos out. I love to watch her stuff, love to watch her reviews. She makes gorgeous CC, like, you know. Jen is like the beauty guru of The Sims in that she did what a lot of her rise in the Sims community very much mimics how you see some of these beauty gurus get down, where they have a product, they really love the product, they love the company starts supporting them, and then they kind of branch out and do their own thing, still being involved with these corporations, but also making her own shit with the CC. It's really interesting. Andrew Arcade kind of departed. He took an extended streaming break and then seemingly has deleted most of his channels. He in the time between The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 kind of moved more into that variety streamer, cozy Nintendo streamer kind of situation, and then proceeded to leave. He's like the first person I ever followed and like watched on Twitch. Like other gaming people that I was watching a lot of Game Theory as well, were also on Twitch, but like he was like, I'm gonna watch that and I'm gonna really enjoy just like vegging out while he plays The Sims 1 for 4 hours. In subsequent videos about The Sims 4, we're going to talk about, The Sims 4, The Sims 3, we're going to talk about X Diamond DX _ and her long-running dramatic Sims series Anon, and its subsequent books. This is why I started this channel, like to talk about this, and it just kind of like it was never the right time. I found like my foothold talking about dolls, so I never really got back to it, but now I do. Oh my god, now I do. Alright. You can follow me on all socials probably under Megan_Blush_. And if you can't find me there, maybe Meglina. I don't know. I'm gonna have all my socials linked in the bio in my link tree. And you can find me most places there. I'm kind of like booting up a Substack. I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I just want to, yeah, alright. This might be the last video that I film in 2024. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you guys for a fun year. I kind of abandoned y'all. There were like spurts and furts of things, but I've had a really good time with you guys this year, as always. Alright. Bye, guys. Bye, my pretty birds. Mwah. I love you. Mwah.